field all kicks. All right, we do this in pre-practice, in specialty period, or if we have a small individual period within practice, we will do it then. And this is basically our returners with our punters just catching the ball. All right, we're going to catch directional normal kicks. All right, we're going to do it from directly in front of the punter and offset. So we train our guys to move forward, backwards, laterally, how to handle hops, how to handle bad kicks and the communication that goes into it, as well as you want to take some time to go over your exotics. This can be your pooch kicks inside the 10. This could be your, all right, the opposition's kicking from the -48. All right, you're putting your returner on the 15, but he has to know he has 7 yards to work with before he has to let that ball go. So if they get a hold of one and it goes over his head, all right, learning how many and how much yards he has to work with in order to field that ball. We got in trouble off of that, and that's why we started working it, and I'll show you that as we go. All right, you might want to work your banana balls, your rugby kicks, all of those different things that punters are doing now to put curve, to put spin on that ball and help keep it away from you. As a special teams coordinator, the number one thing I believe with our punt team is that hit and rolls are where you create your big, long punts as opposed to just booming one over somebody's head, all right? Especially at our level of group and 5 and under, because we don't have some of the leg talent that maybe the Power 4 schools have. So, simple look at how we do this, all right? We just have our returners and our punters out. Our punters are kicking from the end zone right here, working to get under the ball. You can see tight elbows, hands like you're praying, and then just open them up to receive the ball. Hands come up to eye level so I can look in that ball and work it into my body. From this point, we want to go high and tight, chin that ball, claw it, clamp it to my body for the ball security. You see Tobias here, all right? As he catches it, works backwards. We're going to try to stay away from this, all right? We want to steal 2 to 3 yards simply by staying behind it and catching, moving forward so that ball already has momentum in the way that we want to go. All right, so by doing this, we can coast through a lot of these little things, all right, of securing that ball, not catching it outside of our body, all right, catching it with high hands, and then working to chin the ball. Now, simple drill, I know, but you see here, now just working from a slight offset. And with these cones, we can kind of judge where we want to put that guy, okay? Punters are kicking over here on the numbers. We can go as far as the hash and make these guys run. 2 good things to this. They get more confident in trying to go get a ball, which will save you a lot of hardship, but also you as a coach begin to learn what your guys can make it to and what they can't. So you can have reasonable expectations of what your guys can do. So as we're doing this, we're learning to judge it from a different angle. We're working to square our body up behind the ball, receive it with high hands, and protect it. Couple things here, some bad clips. When there is a bouncing ball, I want to get behind the football, and I want to be able to field this ball. Even if I've already called for a fair catch, catch it, give yourself up. Stop the roll. The last thing I want to do is just run away from it, and there's your hidden yardage. All right? If the ball is away from me, shank kick, I know I can't get to it. Now I'm pointing at that ball. Peter, 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 poison, whatever word you use to tell your guys to get away from it. All right? And train that. If you want turnovers on this team, don't ever address this. All right, your guys will congregate around the ball, it will hit them, and the other team will eventually recover it. So your returners must be loud and they must rep it. I know it seems elementary to do this, but this is the starting point. This is the starting point. All right, teach your guys how to field bad kicks, how to stay behind the ball, what to do if you can't get to that kick. And then we work and flip in. So we have 2 ways of doing this. This is just simply working our returners, heels on the 8-yard line, anything over your head, you let go. Anything that you move forward for, you catch. Dual purpose drill. This allows our punters to gauge the distance that they need to kick, so they're getting work in a pooch situation, as well as our returners on creating good habits. As you can see, this ball lands about on the 6. He's going to let that thing go, and it bounces into the end zone. Now, we have a slight variation on this drill, which I'll move to after this rep, but this is just showing you a general idea of how to set this up. What we like to do is to add the gunners from our punt team into this as well. And now these guys are going off of a separate cadence, so it's the kick itself to the returner. These guys are held, they're leaving on a set hit, they're trying to field the ball, he's trying to fake them out or field it. So now you're getting a lot of crossover work, and your returners are getting really comfortable with making that decision and whether or not they need to field that ball. So a very important thing right here, if you can learn when to field the ball, you're always going to be in great shape. So a couple more reps of this. Here you see deep kick, and now our gunners are getting that crossover work with how to down the ball deep in their territory. I would highly recommend this drill because of the crossover nature, and you can do it for 3 to 4 minutes once a week and have amazing results for it. So we do that, and it's greatly paid off for us. And you can see kind of the structure of the drill, where the punters are kicking from. Returner, heels at the 8, don't back up, and then whatever technique you teach your gunners there for fielding your pooch punt. So this is something that I highly recommend when we're talking about fielding the ball, because this is a large aspect to your punt return. So why do we go into all this depth in order to teach our punt returners? Well, this is a scenario right here. You can see where the opponents are kicking from, all right? They're 41. We're playing a P4 school, all right? We have our returner set up about on the 15, but he gets a hold of this one. Look how far our returner drifts back. We didn't do a good enough job addressing this with him of, you have 10 yards to work with. So he thought he had a lot more space. He retreats. By the time he gets going back forward, he's in the shadow of the goal line, and we're lucky to get that thing out. Work this situation with your punt returners. You'll see it 3 to 4 times a year, all right? But it's totally worth it so you don't have mistakes like this, all right? And you can see he was really far away. He wasn't really thinking he would have to field one on the shadow of his end zone, but these are the special situations that can help you be elite when you start to address them. Next here, similar thing. Know where you are on the field. If you've played Army, you know getting them to punt is a win in itself. Now, what can you do with it? If you look at our punt returner here, and this is why we work so much pooch scenario stuff. This was his first game having to return kicks of the year. No excuse. We had injuries. It needs to be next man up, and they need to know what to do. But I have no problem putting my mistakes on here because they're teachable moments and things that I've learned from. He gets off of his spot, thinks he only took a step or 2 backwards as he tracked the ball, and instead of letting it go, we've now fair caught that ball on the 2-yard line against Army. They've completely flipped the field position, and we've put our offense in a bad spot. All right. Contrast those 2 plays with these 2. All right. The first one, would we like to catch it in the air? Absolutely. Playing Lafayette right here, a very solid team out of the Sun Belt. And as this ball is kicked, all right, he gets it away fast, but that ball hits and it starts to bounce. And you can tell that ball is going to bounce for a long time. Secured. All right. Stop the roll. Stop the hidden yardage. There is no telling how far, how much extra this ball would have bounced right here had we not gotten in front of it and fielded that ball to give ourselves up.